Okay. Oh, actually, no. Chris is also on Abzan. Wow. Totally on the wrong decks here. We got Abzan versus Abzan, actually. This is a totally different matchup than I expected. So, all right. Chris generally went on turn 1. Jesse, a better start here, though. He has Blooming Marsh, into Inclusion of Kozilek. We look at Windswept Heath, Tarmogoyf, Lingering Souls, Thoughtseize, Grim Flayer, and Path to Exile. Interestingly enough, Chris did not go for a turn 1 Thoughtseize. That's a little strange. If I'm Jesse, we're just taking away Thoughtseize, right? Yes, we are. Away goes Thoughtseize. Sure, yeah. I'm a little surprised that Chris didn't just go for that. We have picked up a land for the turn. We're going to play the Heath down to 17. This is going to play Grim Flayer is my guess, yeah. He might just get basic Forest. We'll have to see. He's at 19, but... Jesse picks up a Thoughtseize. He also has Fatal Push, so he's got answers here to Grim Flayer. Chris does go to 17 with an Overgrown Tomb, which I think is correct. Jesse here, Marsh Flats. He can go ahead here and fetch up. We got Godless Shrine probably is his best bet, I think. Okay, Thoughtseize you. Jesse at 18 now. He'll see that Chris drew a land for the turn. Drew Verdant Catacombs. We have Lingering Souls, Tarmogoyf, and Path to Exile alongside that Verdant Catacombs. Let's see what he takes. He will take... Not the Verdant Catacombs. We can't take that one, obviously. He will take away Path to Exile, sure. And he'll pass the turn. Leaving up, of course, access to either Path or Fatal Push. Chris, I'm sure, is very aware of that. Again, these guys are in a mirror match, so pretty strong understanding what each other are trying to do here. Chris will start by sacrificing his Verdant Catacombs. Right now, he has 3 out of 4 card types in the graveyard with Instant, Sorcery, and Land. Grim Flayer is still a 2-2 because of that. Chris grabs a basic Forest, so he'll stay at 16, no lower than that. Where are we going next? Lingering Souls is, of course, an option here for Chris. It's not a bad one either. So Jesse has his own Lingering Souls. Here's an attack from Grim Flayer. I can't imagine this ever connects. And no, it does not. Jesse will Fatal Push away the Flayer. Let's see what he goes to here. 17 or 15. Jesse, what are you going to? 15, all right. Does, in fact, kick all the shrine. So there's a Tarmogoyf. So we now have Instant, Sorcery, Land, Creature. That's a 4/5 Tarmogoyf. Jesse going to untap here for his turn 3. Lingering Souls, obviously very, very good at blocking Goyf. And Fatal Push, even better at killing Tarmogoyf. I think you still go ahead for Lingering Souls here. You're not able, unfortunately, to play Flayer and Push. That would probably be ideal. And it looks like, yeah, Jesse does still go for the Lingering Souls, which I think is definitely correct. So a couple of Spirit tokens for Jesse here. Chris going to attack here for 4. Pretty easy block. That's what Lingering Souls are for. Here's Chris's own Lingering Souls. Jesse on his turn will have the ability to flashback his own Lingering Souls and also play Fatal Push on Tarmogoyf. Looks like he picked up a land as well, which is pretty important. Chris did miss a land drop. Jesse will play a tapped Blooming Marsh, of course. Yep, flashback Lingering Souls. Not a surprise. You can offer the trade. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He opts not to, sure. That's fine as well. Chris will... He finds a land here. Swamp is the play. Chris also now, of course, has the option of flashing back his own Lingering Souls, which it looks like he is going to do. Yes, he is. So he has to exile that from his graveyard. Chris will offer the trade, though, with the Lingering Souls tokens. Jesse will accept, and he will Fatal Push the Goyf, of course. All right, so the dust settles. Jesse has 1 spirit. Chris has 2. But Jesse also has a Grimflayer. Now, I think he still only has 3 types as well, though, with instant, sorcery, and land. He doesn't have creature yet. He doesn't have anything like that. So, but he does have a second Lingering Souls, and he also has a Scavenging Ooze, which is really big. So, there's the Ooze. That'll let him control a bit. There's the Flayer as well. So, he's going to play out both. Sure. He fans his graveyard out there to show that he does not, in fact, have Delirium just yet. He is 1 card type away still. But if he does kill the Scavenging Ooze, that will give him Delirium, make it a 4/4 Grimflayer. Chris here has a Fatal Push, though. He will push away the Grimflayer. That's the FNM art from last month. Chris draws for the turn. What do we have here? Some sort of hand interaction is my guess. Yep, Inquisition. It gets a good one. It gets an okay one, I should say. Wow, he drew his own Lingering Souls. That's a great draw, though. Okay. So this is going to be really interesting now. Chris will have more Souls tokens, but Jesse will get to actually eat the Souls here itself. So it's actually going to be even. It's going to be 1-1 or 1-0 still in favor of Chris. Flashback Lingering Souls. Eat your Lingering Souls should be the next play that Jesse makes here. He shouldn't let Chris get more spirit tokens, I don't think. I believe Chris has said no blocks. The only block that would make sense would be double. That's not good because it doesn't work. He's actually going to eat 2 creatures. Interesting. Okay, so Jesse will gain 2 life and Chris will take 4 damage, falling to 12, bringing Jesse to 17. I'm a little surprised he's going to let Chris flashback Lingering Souls here. Yep. And Chris has Inquisition. It gets rid of Lingering Souls again. Sure. Chris flashes back his own Lingering Souls. So it's 5 to a potential 4 spirits for Jesse. Chris just trading in here. I'm a little confused by the number of trades he's making here, but Jesse will take 1 and fall to 16, which really isn't that big of a deal. All right, and we're back to Jesse now. So, again, has access this turn to his flashback Lingering Souls. Still will have access to 2 green mana for Scavenging Ooze. He can make a 6/6. That's pretty big. Attack for 4. Start. Chump block. Yep, sounds about right. Flashback Lingering Souls. All right, so now we're even on spirit tokens. The important thing, though, Jesse does have in play a Gavany Township. So he finds a 5th land. His spirits will beat Chris's. And Chris has already shown that he's ready to block that Scavenging Ooze, so he has to be careful. Picks up a Marsh Flats. Now, he is able to attack with the Shilling Mets if he'd like to get in for a couple points of damage and gain some life. Assuming Jesse didn't draw like a Fatal Push. Okay, Noble Hierarch comes down. Attack for 4. Block. Yep. Actually, it was for 5, in fact. Jesse passes the turn. Chris, end of turn, will sacrifice the Marsh Flats. He falls to 11. Jesse is not holding a land because if he had a land, he would have played it for Township to be activatable, but he's got to have some sort of removal spell in his hand, is my guess, or potentially like a Thoughtseize or Inquisition, just because it doesn't matter right now. It's not a creature, it's not a Liliana, it's nothing great, so. Chris fetches up a Temple Garden tapped, and he will begin his next turn. This is a very grindy matchup, to say the least. Okay, there's the draw. It's a spell. Are there Lingering Souls? No, okay. Siege Rhino? Yep, Siege Rhino comes down, sure. So Jesse at 13, Chris at 14 now. And again, if Jesse was in fact holding on to a count or a kill spell, he's now got a better target for it. Okay, he'll take his turn. No, it is a Thoughtseize, so unfortunately that's not going to have a target still. Not a relevant target, at least. This is an attack for 6 total. Okay. Ooze will get bigger than Rhino, so that's not a trait he's not afraid of. He's not afraid of that, obviously. So he'll block the Scoos and take 2. He falls to 12 as Chris. Jesse again, Thoughtseize in hand, no use. Fatal Push would actually not work here because he doesn't have a way to turn on his Revolt just yet. Unless he wants to chump block with Hierarch. A land for Chris will bring him now to 6 lands in play. He's going to fire up his vents. We're going to turn him sideways for 6 points of damage here. What does Jesse want to do, if anything? He is now in a bit of trouble. He's going to take the 6. He falls to 7, and Chris will go to 14. He gets to crack back for 6. He's actually going to start eating some stuff out of the graveyard, which I think is correct. Oh, no! Now he has Township activatable. Oh, that's huge. Okay. I forgot. Hierarch is the 5th mana now. Okay, so does he win this race now? Does he win this turn, in fact? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, he has 12. He missed a counter on his Hierarch. Which is actually really important, because if he drew a land, he has lethal. Is Rhino enough? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's still only 12. Okay, he can only do 12 damage here. Rhino's the safer play because Rhino checks Rhino all day, so I think you just get in for 9 here and then play your Rhino. Yep. Jesse agrees. Chris will fall to 5. Okay. Chris falls to 5. And he'll fall to 2, I imagine, pretty shortly. So what else do you want to play? You don't really want to play Abrupt Decay because you don't have a target for it, and you don't want to play Thoughtseize because there's no useful target for it. Yep. Rhino is the only good play here, so he will play that. Chris will fall to 2. Jesse will go to 10. And Chris is in a lot of trouble. If he main decks Damnation, now's the time to draw it. That looks like a land, though. He is dead on board, without a doubt, so. And sure enough, Chris does scoop it up here. So we're going to head to game 2. Again, this is a very grindy matchup. Green Black X versus Green Black X. Super grindy. Again, that's why I'm really surprised that Chris didn't go for a turn 1 Thoughtseize. In game 1, the hand disruption is kind of important. It's not as important in games 2 or 3, so I don't know what to see here. So games 2 and 3, these guys cut some number of Thoughtseize Inquisition effect cards. They're just not as effective in this matchup as they are against other ones. You're a very, very attrition-based matchup where you're trying to get as many 1-for-1s as you can. And drawing one of those cards late game is absolutely zero use. So any other removal these guys have, things like Maelstrom Pulses are huge. He's got access to those. They likely both have access to at least one in the sideboard, sometimes even 2. All right. Shuffling up here for game 2. Jesse again in the lead here. Chris gonna have the play. He had to play game 1 and he still lost it, so we'll see. All right, shuffling up here. Again, a quick reminder here, guys. If you are watching and haven't followed our channel yet, we do give a 10% off discount code to any followers of our channel. So if you hit that follow button now, I will send you a 10% off discount code. Gives you 10% off all singles and sealed product on top8gaming.com. Great deal. Again, we have Ixalan in stock here, both boxes and singles, so you can pick those up at 10% off. Why not? A good deal all around. All right, looking at their opening 7s here. Chris gonna have first option. What is he gonna do? Looks like both players have kept. So, all right, Chris starts things off here. Verdant Catacombs gonna pass the turn. Jesse, what do you have? Do you have anything on turn 1 here? It's not likely again in these matchups. The turn 1 plays typically sideboarded out. The ideal turn 1 at this point would be a Noble Hierarch, but does not have that. So Chris gonna fetch down to 19 here. I don't see any reason to use a shock right now. The only reason would be a fatal push on a Hierarch, but Jesse didn't oblige for that. So picks up a Godless Shrine. And we'll begin his second turn here. Now, I did see Chris had in hand a copy of Maelstrom Pulse. He also has a copy of Damnation, likely also out of the sideboard. So Picks up a Nihil Spellbomb. That's good. It's a one-sided graveyard wipe. Let's see where he goes here with his turn 2. Verdant Catacombs, and he'll just play the Spellbomb and say go. Jesse, going to go ahead and fetch away his Verdant Catacombs. Yeah, this is, I don't know. This matchup's always interesting, I guess, to say. I don't know. It's really, really grindy. And unless one player, like, unless they just draw lopsided hands where one player has, like, nothing. It's so awkward. There's never a matchup where one side's doing nothing unless they draw horribly. You usually either have creatures or removal spells. So, yeah. This is why you play Modern. Yeah, sure. Jesse will also get a Godless Shrine. He has Tarmogoyf here for turn 2 if he'd like it. He actually opts instead for a Grim Flare. Makes more sense to me. The Nihil Spellbomb, again, of course, is going to be able to control that Grim Flare a little bit. At least for one activation, if nothing else. So we'll see here. It's just not as good anymore, Drocker. The deck's good, but I mean, it's just, as it became so dominant, it just got hated out, like Digital Styles says there. It just gets to a point where everyone just hates it out. Digital Styles, do I know you? I recognize your name, I think. Pretty sure I know you, if you're who I think you are. Tarmogoyf for Chris. Temple Guard is what he fetched up there. Play a Swamp for the turn. Goyf right now is only a 1/2. Now, he is able to sacrifice the Nihil Spellbomb, make the Goyf a 2/3, and that will beat the Grim Flare. Did Jesse maybe not see that line? Interesting. Jesse has Abrupt Decay, so he's not in a lot of trouble. Okay, that's what I thought it was. All right. Yeah, so Jesse should just let him go to damage here. Yeah. Yeah, this is big because Grim Flare has Trample, of course. So this will let him get through for 2 points of damage. Did he miss? No, okay, that's just paying Fatal Push mana. Yep, there it is, the damage. So he says take 2 because there is no blocker. I get to trigger my Grim Flare. Looks at Damnation, land, and I think another land potentially, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it was 2 lands and Damnation. He's going to leave a land and a Damnation on top of the deck, and he's going to bin the Stirring Wildwood. Chris will pick up and play Shambling Vents for the turn. He has a second Tarmogoyf. Jesse does have the answer to that one as well with Abrupt Decay. Or Liliana, that's also a good one. Yeah. Liliana Eat You is very good. This is another attack for 2. Chris will now fall to 14. Jesse will get another trigger. Let's see if he wants to keep that Damnation floating or not. There's a Surgical Extraction in those cards. That's pretty good. He's going to bin the Tarmogoyf. Okay. He can bin everything, and that'll make his Flare a 4/4. But a lot of the time, okay, I was going to say the decks do only play typically 1 Damnation, so he will bin everything, though. Flare, now a 4/4. And we're back to Chris here. Chris will pick up a third Tarmogoyf. Jeez. Pretty much. Pretty much. Okay. Gideon does require 4 mana. So there we go. Gideon Allies Zendikar comes down. This will make, I imagine, a 2/2. Yes, it does. This... Wow. Okay, this just will die to Goyf here, right? Well, no, I guess... Yeah, he's going to Abrupt Decay the token and then attack Gideon for 5. Yep. Chris picked up Blooming Marsh. He's got Damnation, Siege Rhino, Third Tarmogoyf, and Maelstrom Pulse in hand. His hand's not bad, but he's behind on board right now by a lot, so let's see where he goes. Jesse, also of note, did not use Liliana last turn. He will Pulse away Grimflare. That seems like the right choice. We're back to Jesse now for his turn. Picks up another copy of Abrupt Decay. Again, Liliana didn't get used last turn, which I'm a little surprised about because he has a second Liliana in hand that he could have discarded to it. Let's see. Chris has the harder choice here. Chris's hand, he needs all these reactionary cards, and Jesse will start chipping away, especially after seeing the Maelstrom Pulse get played, which is an answer to Liliana typically. His hand right now, again, is Tarmogoyf, Siege Rhino, and Damnation. So it's not... There's no great choice here. Looks like he decided on Siege Rhino, I think? Nope, he decided on Damnation. Okay. Scavenging Ooze was Jesse's choice. Here's a Goyf. This has got to be a pretty big Tarmogoyf right now, I imagine. Planeswalker, Instant, Sorcery, Land, Artifact, Creature. 6/7 Goyf, I think. I think all we're missing is Tribal and Enchantment right now. So, Chris plays his own Noble Hierarch. Goyf having more than 5 power is really big, seeing as how it can kill a Rhino, which is very, very problematic. Chris will play his own Goyf. Now this is fine because Goyf will always check Goyf. Now the only problem here is the attacking Goyf has the strength here because the Noble Hierarchs on both sides will give the Exalted triggers and let the Goyf kill the opposing Goyf if they block. Yep, 6/7. It's a big one. Jesse has another Goyf of his own. That's the 5th Goyf played this game? I guess he has answers to both, doesn't he? Yeah, it doesn't matter. So this is going to be an attack for 7. So 7U. That's pretty good. Play my second Goyf. Go ahead. Yeah, Jesse with a very strong hand this game. So Chris, I believe, picked up another land. He's going to have to play a Siege Rhino, so he's not dead next turn. He's at 9. Jesse will fall to 14, but he has to chump block with a Rhino, which that never feels good. And if Jesse finds an answer to it, he just wins. Oh, he says, I have all the answers. So, good game? Yeah. So congrats to Jesse there.